So for today's project, you are going to need a few things. You will need a sewing machine. You will need an iron. You will need thread and a bobbin, scissors, an elastic, and I am using 1/4 inch elastic, and I have cut this to 8.5 inches. I always go 1/2 inch over to allow for when I tie the knot. You will need hardware for the wristlet, and I will put a link down below where I got my supply of hardware. That'll be down below. You will need a piece of interface. I have cut my interface at 1.25 inch wide, and it is 12 inches long. And you will need your fabric. Your fabric needs to be cut at 3.5 inches wide, 12 inches long. This will be for the wristlet. So there's the supplies for the wristlet. We'll move that off to the side. Now for the scrunchie that's going to go with the wristlet in a set. You will need a piece of fabric that matches your wristlet, and it is going to measure 4.5 inches wide, 25 inches long. So from this end all the way around to this end, you want 25 inches, and you want it to be 4.5 on the width. I will link all the measurements down below. So let's get started. First thing we're going to want to do is warm up our iron so that we can iron the wristlet. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is lay your fabric out, and you're just going to give a quick press to make sure that it's all nice and flat. Then we are going to fold this in half, just like this, and we're going to press this right in half, just like this. The next step, now that you have a crease in the middle, is you're going to fold this edge right here, right to that middle crease, just like that, and you're going to press this side down, just like that. I'll turn mine over here, and then we're going to fold this side in, just like this, and we're going to give this side a press. Be careful not to burn yourself. These irons are hot. Then what I like to do is I like to just fold both of them in, make sure that it's going to work perfectly, and it is. So we're going to open this up, and we are going to lay our interfacing down. When you feel this, you can feel this one side is really bumpy and one side is smooth. You want the bumpy side down, and you want to lay it right in between where you did your first two side folds. We're going to gently press this in here, just like this. Now we're going to fold our side pieces in, give them a finger press, just like this. Fold that in. Then we're going to fold it one more time right in half. Use your fingers. Get a nice, make sure your edges butt right up to each other really, really well. And you can hold this with one hand. And then we're going to press this down, just like this. It lets the interface adhere even more than it was to begin with. I flip it over and I give a press on this side. So we want this to be nice and pressed. All right, so this is what we have done now with our wristlet. The next part, we're going to go to the machine. will do a thread change on the machine, and then I will show you how to put all of these together. Now this is a Singer Simple machine. All right, so I am on a straight stitch. I am on 3 is the setting for the machine. And now I'm going to position you so that you can see us put this together. So we have it folded. What we're going to do is put it in the machine, and we're going to stitch as close to this edge as we can get, all the way down this side, turn around and come back all the way down this side. So let's do that now. So what I do is I follow where my feed dogs come up in here. It's just a good line of sight for me, and I will keep my fabric right here next to the feed dog. And that's where I have my thread positioned, or my needle positioned to sew this. So I will go ahead and do a back stitch. And you don't want to push, you don't want to pull. You want to let the feed dogs pull the fabric through and let them do the work for you. Make sure that it's laying down nice and flat and that you're staying on top of each other. Remember not to pull or push. Let the machine do the work. Take it nice and slow. Slow and steady wins the race. Nice and slow. I keep my line of sight on my feed dog. I come to the end and I'll give a back stitch. Lift up my presser foot. I'll turn it over. And you can sew across that part if you like. I choose not to. It's easier for me when I do it like this, unless I'm chain stitching pieces. It's where I make stuff in bulk. So we're going to follow this all the way down. I've got my line of sight set. And I can always tell, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it from up there, but I can see my feed dog in here. I can see where my needle comes down, and I have myself trained to look at that exact same spot every time I sew really close to the edge on something. I've been doing this for many years, so for me that's just a training spot. Another thing you could do is you could take a piece of masking tape or painter's tape, and you could put yourself a piece of tape right here, and then you know to run your fabric right along that. So we have our wristlet sewn. Sorry about it cutting off. My battery went kaput, so I had to recharge. So our wristlet is all stitched up with our pretty little stitches, and we're going to set that aside, and we are going to grab our fabric for our matching scrunchie. Right sides together, you're going to match up the ends like this, the open ends, and you're going to sew a 1/4 of an inch seam across this. Give a back stitch. We're going to do the burrito method today for this scrunchie, just because I like the way that they close up. So if you see this, see how nice that is already? So you're going to roll it wrong side out. You're going to take the top one and you're just going to fold it over so it's a nice little ball in the middle. Then you're going to take this side and fold it over to this side, and we are going to sew a 1/4 of an inch seam all the way down, and we're going to be pulling this out as we go. And it's super easy to do, and there's tons of videos on the burrito method. So we're going to start, we're going to give a back stitch because we want it to hold. So as you're going, you're just making sure that your bottom is laying down, your top is over it, and that the middle section is pulled out of your way. So we sew down as far as we can go, which I can get to right about in here. I'm going to stop and I'm going to put my needle down. Very important to put your needle down when you're doing burrito method, because you don't want to have it pull out. So grab the top of the burrito and just start pulling your scrunchie through. So hold on to it up here, just like this. You're going to pull it through, and you're going to continue to tuck this middle piece in, line up the two edges, and sew down. Go as far as you can go. Put your foot down. And once again, we're going to pull this out just like this. And you're just going to keep going until you get to the very end, until you can't go any further. Needle down. I know I'm coming back around because I just am crossing over my center stitches. And it does look like quite a little mess, but just take your time, pull it out. The more you do of these, the burrito method, the better you get at it, the faster you get at it. So I'm going to line my two seams up. I'm going to nest them. So I'm going to have one going one direction and one going the opposite direction so that it nests together. If you are a quilter, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're nesting our seams. If you don't want to do that and you want to do a little finger press and press them open right there, you can. So let's give this a quick, another pull here. Oh, that was beautiful. So see, I still have quite a bit to go. So I'm going to make sure that I have all that tucked up in there really well. So I don't want to sew over it. Needle down. We're going to give a quick little pull again. When the object is just to get it as far as you can go. Now I am using scrap material that I have had laying around for a very long time. All right, so see, now I'm getting up to the end, and I know I'm getting up because all of that was sticking out. So, and this is where I started at right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that all of my scrunchie is tucked really far up in there. And I'm going to leave myself probably about a 1 inch to 1.5 inch opening. So that's where I started. Go a little bit more about right there. I'm going to back stitch really well so this sits in there. I'm going to lift it up like this. We'll push this away for a moment. And then you take this and you open up that little hole. You reach in there and out comes your scrunchie tube all sewed together. Just like that. Look at that. Isn't that cute? So cute. So we want to make sure that our seam is going to be in the middle. And now we are going to put our elastic in. Okay, so I have this little elastic feeder here that I'm going to use. I also use safety pins. I just feed it up through there really well. we find the opening, which is right here. We're going to slide that in there like that. And we are going to just feed this all the way around, holding on to your elastic. Feed this all the way around. I'm trying to stay in camera here so you can see this. They have special scrunchie feeders that you can get. What I have, this little elastic feeder that I have two different sizes. They belong to my grandmother, so I just use those. They work fine for me. So my elastic was cut at 8 inches, 8.5 actually. I always add a 1/2 inch for when I go to tie it. So pull your elastic out, wrap it around 2 fingers, and then tuck it through just like this. And then hold on to these guys and pull it off your fingers and slide it as close to the end as you can get. So about a 1/2 inch left, just like that. So I give a really good pull to make sure that it is secure. I will even pull this way, and then I will take a lighter and I will just burn the ends so that they don't fray. Now, give this a good, you can make sure your seam is on the outside. Oh my goodness, how cute is that? Okay, so when you put your elastic through and after you tie it, the purpose of giving a really good pull is because you want your knot to wind up way over here. My knot's way over here now. So what I'm going to do is give this a nice pull. You can see our hole that we have here, and we are going to stitch right along this very edge right here and close this up. And then our scrunchie will be done, and all we have to do is add the hardware to our wristlet. So here's our opening. Just pull it nice and tight, just like that. Hold on to it, lay it down, put it right along the edge. There we go. I always start my needle down, and I will give a small backspace here. I know that my other end of my opening is right here, so I'm just going to run this right along this edge. There's my other opening. I'll give a backspace here. I'm going to trim these threads off here, just like that. And looky there. Just like that, you have a cute little country scrunchie. So let's add our hardware to our wristlet. Okay, here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to trim the threads that we have sticking off the ends, just like this. We'll give, hope I'm staying in camera for you, just like this. Okay, so you want to lay these two together, and then you're going to take your hardware and you're going to hold it like this with the teeth up. You're going to tuck your wristlet in there. I always put my thumbnail, see that? Right in there to hold on to it. Just like that. And it also helps me adjust it a little bit, because what we want to do is make sure that that fabric gets seated down onto those teeth really well so it doesn't come apart. Then you're going to take your pliers and you're very gently going to start closing that up. So I close one side at a time. Everything is staying aligned just the way I want it. You can make any adjustments you need to now. So both sides are now clipped down. I know it's in there nice and even the way I want it to be. Give it a tug, it ain't coming out. So I'm going to move my ring out of the way. I'm going to put my pliers on there. And I'm going to squeeze again. I want to make sure that I have this squeezed on there really well. So now, look at this. We have a super cute wristlet keychain. Super cute wristlet keychain. And we have this super cute scrunchie. Look at that. It's so cute. Today, we made a scrunchie. And we made a matching wristlet to go with it. How stinking cute are these two things together? Absolutely adorable. Look at this. Cute. Look at that. It is so cute. And then you have this. Hook your keys on there. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Away you go. These are so cute. I think I might do a couple of these in Christmas material. That would be cute. Let me know in the comments down below if I should make a couple of these sets. The scrunchie with the matching wristlet for Christmas. Hey, thanks for joining me today on this. I had fun making these. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll give this video a thumbs up, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and help me continue to grow my channel. So for now, I love you all greatly, and thanks.